Gunny, it's a trap! I grabbed the nearest man to me, a fresh-faced private named Anders, and I shoved him towards the cave entrance, kicking into high gear behind him. There was a flash and a deafening roar behind me. I felt myself lifted off my feet, and suddenly, the world dissolved into darkness. Hi, I am Marine Gunnery Sergeant Kyle Cooper, and I'm about to share a bizarre story with you about how a disastrous mission in the mountains of Afghanistan led to an amazing discovery that would literally save the life of Sharon Monroe, 43-year-old out-of-shape accountant and mother of two, who nearly dropped dead from a heart attack. What I found in the unforgiving desert would empower Sharon to mysteriously lose over 40 pounds, save her life, and keep her family from living the nightmare of losing their wife and mother. Yes, you heard that right, over 41 pounds to be exact. This was Sharon before, and this is Sharon now. Sharon achieved this miracle without pills, surgeries, or tediously gut-wrenching workouts of any kind. I'll warn you though, you might be shocked and even a little out of sorts when you learn about the method Sharon and I used to eradicate all of that dangerous and unsightly body fat. Not to mention giving Sharon a more youthful look with the energy to go with it. Sharon had been battling with her weight for years and was getting nothing but frustrated. She had tried every weight loss fad and followed the advice of so-called fitness gurus who preached tons of cardio and crazy diets to shift the weight. The real breakthrough came out of nowhere, backed up by independent clinical research from some of the world's top universities, and I had to go overseas to find out about it. It would change Sharon's life for the better. This weight loss method is so astonishingly effective, I have retired from the Marine Corps so that I can dedicate my life to showing this truly miraculous and unusual secret to everyone who wants to shed pounds and improve their health. Over the next 3 minutes, you are going to be exposed to the most malicious lies about nutrition. Lies that throw up an impenetrable roadblock that stop you from losing weight. And what's even more disturbing, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, and other conditions could be taking hold inside you right now, and you wouldn't even realize it. Lies like salty foods are a hindrance to losing weight. I know, it sounds crazy, but the fact is that a lack of salt lowers the pH level in your stomach so that you can't burn fat. The lack of salt leads to a whole bunch of digestive problems, making you bloated, backed up, and so gassy your family won't let you in the house. There are also certain vegetables found in the produce section at the grocery store or commonly served in meals at restaurants that most people think are healthy. But in fact, these vegetables create a serious thyroid imbalance that builds fat in your gut, no matter how much sweaty working out you do. Here's a biggie for you. There have been a remarkable number of studies that show that excessive cardio, daily marathon running, endless cycling, etc., speeds up the aging process, is very ineffective at burning fat, and actually causes serious heart conditions like arterial plaque buildup, oxidative stress, and even serious scar tissue on the heart that leads to deadly heart attacks. I know, goes against everything we've ever been taught, right? Now let's not talk about processed sugar. Sugars like corn syrup and maltodextrin that are found in alarming amounts in just about every can, bottle, pouch, or frozen thing in the grocery store. We all know too much sugar is bad, but does the government or the FDA keep it out of our food? Nope. Or what about the scientifically proven fact that fat-free, sugar-free, gluten-free, and low-carb diets make you fatter because of 2 body-fattening amino acids that are hiding in most of the foods you have been led to believe are healthy? It's a little scary to know that these 2 acids are injected into most foods that we would consider good for us. They both deliver deadly trans fats right into your bloodstream, destroying the body's metabolic system and bringing the production of thyroid hormones to a grinding halt, especially in women, directly resulting in increased fat storage specifically around your stomach and thighs. Oh, and that's not all. Research on the WebMD clearly shows that people who overdo it when they exercise usually have shorter lifespans or even put themselves at a higher risk of having a heart attack. The early symptoms of a heart attack are shortness of breath and even chest pains. Yet these exercise overachievers just think it's because they've had a good workout. Oh, and this might really tick you off. All of those so-called stars who show up on Nutrisystem success stories pages are scams, and I'll show you proof. See this fit body? This is not the result of eating expensive and pre-packaged Nutrisystem foods. In just a few seconds, I'll reveal the undisputed truth about how all these super fit celebrities really lose so much weight so quickly, right in this very presentation. Yet best of all, is that I'm going to show you exactly how Sharon Monroe lost more than 41 pounds and just dodged leaving her husband a widower, and how nearly getting blown to bits in some godforsaken cave in the Khyber Pass between Afghanistan and Pakistan brought me to the discovery that would change not only Sharon's life, but thousands of others since then. So stick with me until the end of this presentation, because I'm also going to share some amazing fat-burning methods with you that you've been hoping for all of your adult life. So turn off the phone, lock the door, and settle back for a few minutes, because you can't afford to miss any of the life-changing and life-saving information I'm about to reveal. You'll learn the precise fat-burning system that's been scientifically tested and proven to decimate the fat cells in your body and melt fat away with incredible speed, skyrocket your energy levels and youthfulness, balance your body chemistry, and ramp up your sex drive to optimum efficiency so quickly, safely, and effectively that you're going to wonder why Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, and whoever else you watch on TV hasn't been talking about this for years. My method lets you bring on a complete body transformation without any kind of drugs, surgeries, expensive supplements, or exhausting workouts. You want it to get on any BS diets or buy any overpriced fitness garbage. You don't even need any motivational rituals to make it happen. This system has proven to work for folks of any age, body type, or any state of health, because the method is based on sound physiology and anatomical principles of the human body's natural functions. Before we dive in, I need to warn you about something. The weight loss industry is not happy about what I'm doing. This industry, which makes tens of billions by cleverly marketing fads such as the TLC diet, Slim Fast, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, and of course the South Beach diet, which is now owned by Nutrisystem, by the way, are threatened by the information I'm going to share. Naturally, since I'm exposing the lies they use to milk people out of billions each year, more than 61 billion as of 2010, based on a market data study of the U.S. weight loss industry alone. They are understandably upset at me taking money from their mouths by showing good people, like you, how to lose weight without losing money. Do you know what's really astonishing? That everything I've studied and have been told all my adult life about nutrition and losing body fat was totally wrong. I actually had to leave the country to accidentally stumble upon the proven secrets you're going to learn right here in this video. It always happens, and I will bet it happens to you that once you hear the truth, you'll immediately feel a surge in energy and vitality just from knowing that you too can accomplish what you hoped to for so long. Just like the 53,816 other regular folks who have used my technique and which you're about to learn today. I don't expect you to take my word for it. No way. In a moment, I'll show you undeniable facts. Facts you can verify on your own if you want to. Imagine waking up tomorrow with as much energy and pep as you used to have in your 20s. Even if you are now in your 40s, 50s, or even 70s, you will watch as day by day, your stubborn belly that's been hanging over your belt or pushing out that front of your dress dissolves. You'll rapidly begin to feel and look healthier than you have in decades. You'll also discover that the symptoms and causes of all your major health issues like hyperthyroidism, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, chronic joint pain, and so many others will begin to fade so rapidly and in a way that's so unimaginable, it'll reaffirm your faith or make you believe in a higher power if you don't already now. The secret I'm about to reveal is so simple and so easy, and the results are so dramatic that it'll probably seem unbelievable at first, which is understandable. It's natural to wonder how this could have gotten by you in the first place. I honestly felt the same way, and I learned about the incredible but proven science regarding a fat-burning cycle hiding in the human anatomy that we Westerners, Americans, Canadians, Australians, and Europeans are not privy to. I honestly didn't believe it at first, just more health mumbo-jumbo. Keep in mind that as a gunnery sergeant in a Marine Force Recon unit, I wasn't just responsible for my team and for the team of National Guardsmen that were with me that fateful night in the cave. I was responsible for their physical fitness training too. Yet when I watched the results of out-of-shape, middle-aged soldiers using this program, How National Guard units called up to serve were staffed by out-of-shape guys in their 30s, 40s, and even 50s, guys who were mostly accountants, engineers, and the like, and played soldier once a month, who were suddenly called to active duty to fight terrorist threats. How they rapidly transformed into lean, mean fighting machines. Guys who couldn't wait to serve and couldn't wait to return home and show their friends and family how fit and happy they were, and how I watched Sharon slim down within a matter of weeks. It is one thing to whip a bunch of soldiers into shape. They have to do what I say. But to see a civilian who'd given up all hope pull herself out of the cold clutches of death's hands, nothing can replace that feeling. And of course, seeing how my little fitness boot camp grew so fast that I could barely keep up with the demand of those who wanted to obtain the obvious results for themselves. Seeing the astonishing and life-altering results of tens of thousands of people, no different than you or me, trying and succeeding with this system themselves. I know that what I'm about to show you gives you a lean and healthy body, as well as the confidence you used to have, or perhaps never had, but have always wanted. The most mind-blowing thing of all is that this weight loss secret completely eliminates several dangerous toxins, free radicals, and even heavy metals from your body to unlock reserves of energy that make you feel young again and breathe new vitality into every cell in your body. That's exactly what Patricia in Youngstown, Ohio discovered. She lost 28 pounds and several inches off her waist and thighs. She really knew it had happened when she tried on a dress at Macy's and discovered that the size 14 she'd been for years was now billowing around her, and she went all the way down to size 9. And then there's David from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who dropped a whopping 57 pounds and discovered that his type 2 diabetes was gone, and he no longer faced the prospect of daily insulin injections and expensive medications that only a few months earlier his doctor had told him to expect. Or Tamara from Chicago. Tamara used this simple method you're about to learn and dropped 32 pounds, which gave her the boost of self-esteem she needed to apply for and receive a big promotion at her law firm. Or Vince from Long Beach, California. He lost 22 pounds in under a month. He trimmed down considerably, looks and feels great, and landed himself a beautiful and successful new lady in his life. Listen to what Amanda from Boston says. Dear Kyle, I'll admit that I was a little skeptical at first, yet what you showed us in your presentation was hard to ignore, and now that I've tried it, I can say it's amazing. Before watching your video, I was 25 pounds overweight, and my doctor said that my blood pressure was way too high. My cholesterol was through the roof, and he prescribed me several meds that were only partially covered by insurance. I was pretty down and figured I was a lost cause. But then you explained the science behind your technique, and it was so simple and made so much sense, I figured, what do I have to lose? 27 pounds, that's what. In 3 weeks, I totally changed my life, more than 7 pounds per week. My BP and cholesterol have dropped back to normal, and I look better than I have in years. Hoorah, Gunny! Just a couple of nice words out of the tens of thousands of success stories I've received, and I'll share a few more in a bit as well. But before I do, it's critical that I tell you how this system works and why it not only transforms your body, it also saves your very life. As mentioned, my name is Kyle Cooper, a retired Marine gunnery sergeant, husband and proud father of 2 awesome kids. In fact, here's a quick shot of us hanging out from a few weeks ago. At this point, I'm considered a celebrity in the health world. I've met top fitness gurus, and I've even done business with some very notable names. It's still kind of unreal to me. I'm really humbled to have been labeled as one of the top body transformation experts in the world, a guy who's had success with tough clients other trainers couldn't help, totally reshaping their bodies in a matter of a short few months. But I'm really nobody special, no different than you. I was just lucky enough to blunder into a weight loss formula that has helped Sharon Monroe, a 43-year-old out-of-shape woman whose transformation, as you can tell by the picture, is pretty darn amazing. Not only does Sharon look and feel better, she now has the energy to share special family moments with her son and daughter and husband of 15 years. Like most people, including me at first, Sharon was pretty skeptical. Now, I'm not talking about before, where she was understandably uncertain. I'm saying that Sharon was skeptical even after she lost 41 pounds, looked great, and felt better than she had since she was 25. Sharon wanted medical and scientific proof that it was my system that changed her. So she got a complete physical at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, driving all the way from St. Louis, Missouri, where we live. The physical included genetic and lab analysis. The doctors were amazed to tell Sharon that even though she was 43, her body was that of a woman 20 years younger. Biologically speaking, Sharon's body was anatomically identical to a woman half her age. That's an incredibly astonishing thing to hear from some of the world's most prominent physicians, both for Sharon and for me as well. It's even more remarkable when you think that just 2 years ago, Sharon was a flabby, out-of-shape lady who was headed for a heart attack and at risk of developing type 2 diabetes. A woman who never had any energy and whose sex life was going down the tubes. Sharon wanted to change, but she just didn't have the energy or drive to leave work and then spend an hour or more in the gym getting sweaty, feeling weak, and feeling self-conscious when she looked around at all the fit women in the gym. The problem was that Sharon had put off her health improvement so long that by the time she realized things had gotten so bad, it was nearly too late. I can still remember how floored I was when Sharon told me about the day she almost died back in February of 2014. Sharon had gotten into her head that it was time to take action. So, like many people who don't exercise but are very overweight and want radical change, she didn't ease into it. She went full out. She decided to run 3 miles, or at least jog them, in a park near her home. After the first mile, she noticed that the running was really hard and getting harder by the second. She didn't have any of that runner's high she had always heard about. As Sharon gasped for air and felt the burn in her muscles, she kept going, telling herself that she had to push through it. No pain, no gain. After about 1.5 miles, Sharon got what she thought was a big stitch in her side. She ignored it for another minute or two until her heart started hammering so hard it hurt and was roaring in her ears. She stopped and fell down on her knees, doubled over in pain. Sharon could hardly even catch her breath for several long minutes. After about 5 minutes or so, she could breathe easier and the chest and stomach pains were a little better. Amazingly, instead of stopping or even walking for a while and possibly talking to her doctor, Sharon tried to keep going. And that's when things went from bad to worse. Sharon, who was 40 at the time, didn't realize that there was something seriously wrong with her heart and that these chest pains, stomach pains, and breathing difficulties were warning signs. 2 nights later, on Friday, after Sharon and her husband went out for a date night at a Mexican restaurant they loved, she woke up in the middle of the night with crushing chest pains and labored breathing. Thinking it was just acid from the food, Sharon took a few Tums and sat up for a bit as she waited for the heartburn to subside. Yet, what we all fear the most was about to happen to Sharon. An hour after she had been woken by the pain, her left arm started to tingle. Sharon woke her husband and told him what she was feeling. She said that this didn't sound like heartburn and that she was having symptoms of a heart attack. Sharon broke into a cold sweat and began to believe her husband was right. It was time to go to the emergency room. She told her husband that he should stay at home and look after the kids, who weren't up yet. She felt okay to drive herself to the ER. He didn't like it, but reluctantly agreed, and Sharon made her way to the hospital. It was certainly a life-changing doctor's visit. The doctors confirmed that Sharon did have a very mild heart attack, thankfully not a big one yet. She was told that she was considered obese and that her weight had brought on cardiovascular damage. Sharon said there was so much going through her mind that it was like being in the middle of a roaring crowd at a concert. Sharon was shocked beyond belief. Here she was, 40 years old, trying to get fit after so long, and as a result, she had found out she had heart disease. There'd be no sleep for Sharon that night. Sharon sat with her husband after returning from the ER and cried like a baby. She wondered how long she'd be around, if she would see her son and daughter grow up, and when she'd leave her husband alone in the world. What about all her plans? That big trip to Europe they were planning next year. That side business she and her husband, Tyler, were going to start together. Sharon took a few days off from work. The morning after she'd come back from the ER, she helped Tyler get the kids off to school. She watched her 8-year-old daughter and 10-year-old son get on the bus, and it suddenly hit her. Would this be the last time? How many more days did she have with them? That day at the ER was a hammering blow of a wake-up call for Sharon. She knew she needed to drop a few pounds, but she hadn't even imagined anything like this. The signs of weight were all there. Sharon's clothes seemed to shrink steadily over the years. Her once firm and shapely body was now flabby and bulging where it shouldn't. She even found that his desire for sex had dissipated. At first she thought it was just age, although she was still very much attracted to Tyler. And in fact, a good many of her girlfriends in her age group said they seemed like they wanted sex more than ever. Of course, she also secretly knew that she hated getting undressed in front of Tyler lately. She was ashamed of her body and what he must think of her. Like most of us, Sharon was pretty good at self-justification and denial. Yeah, she was a little out of shape, but she'd get around to make some changes soon. Sharon made excuses for herself and turned to fitness fads and quick fixes, spending hundreds of dollars on things that obviously didn't work. The problem is that weight loss systems like Nutrisystem, Atkins, SlimFast, and South Beach are all about restricting your diet, counting calories, and starving yourself. And crazy workouts or fat-burning belts really don't address the problem and serve only to suck money from the wallet, as Sharon found out for herself. Sharon felt like she was doing what was right, yet she was so frustrated by the total lack of results. When she was on one diet or the other, Sharon felt extreme hunger a lot of the time, especially at night. What she didn't realize was that these diets simply restrict caloric intake, and when your body is starved, it turns to survival mode, storing more and more food as fat as a means of preservation. This happened because she was depriving herself of carbohydrates, which is how your body refuels and generates energy. So despite the vegetables and the protein, Sharon wasn't losing weight. Her muscles weren't getting any stronger, and her body wasn't shaping up at all. She was starving her body of the necessary proteins and nutrients that it needed to get stronger and burn fat. Sharon would get so ticked off thinking about all the money she had wasted on paleo, Nutrisystem, and the TLC diet programs. They had made her bank account smaller, but not her stomach. She told me that any of the diets that preached portion-sized meals were just not enough food. An hour after dinner, she'd get really hungry and couldn't fight the urge to eat something, and it was usually not something good. On top of everything, Sharon's LDL level, the bad type of cholesterol, was extremely high, which further intensified the danger of heart condition. Her body was also loaded with fat that her triglyceride levels, blood sugar, were over 300, which is a huge contributing factor to heart disease as well as diabetes. Not even a week later, with everything that had happened and what she had been told, Sharon was struck with a massive wave of depression. Sharon fell to her knees in front of her bed and began sobbing uncontrollably. She didn't notice that her 10-year-old son was watching her from the doorway. He put his arms around Sharon and said something really moving. "It's okay, Mom," he said. "Jesus is going to take care of you." Sharon hugged and kissed him, taking comfort in her young son's bravery and feeling a little guilty too. However, the very next day would put the final nail in Sharon's coffin of depression. As Sharon and her husband waited for word from her doctor, each second crept by and seemed to drag out their dread intolerably. Finally, the doctor came in and told them in no uncertain terms about the bleak consequences of Sharon ignoring her weight for so long. She said, "Sharon, these are the facts. If you don't lose at least 40 pounds, I'm not sure how long your heart will be able to support your body at your current weight. Ignoring your health for so many years has..." The doctor hesitated and then went on. "Well, your blood pressure is steady at 175 over 110. Your BMI is over 30, and your cholesterol levels are through the roof." Sharon's huge fat and cholesterol buildup was because of years of eating the wrong foods and doing the wrong exercises. Your arteries are already beginning to harden, and even very expensive weight loss surgery would be dangerous at this point, the doctor explained. Sharon felt helpless and defeated, feeling that there was no way to drop 40 pounds when she hadn't even lost 5 pounds in the last couple of years. Now, I'm not sharing this as some kind of sympathy bid for Sharon or to pluck at your heartstrings. I'm sharing this because everything happened so fast and Sharon hadn't thought she was really that unhealthy, just that she was getting older. That's the scary part about age, that there's this time bomb waiting to go off. And the older we get, the faster the timer counts down, whether we're talking about cancer, heart disease, a stroke, diabetes, or whatever. All of a sudden today could be your last one. Sharon was advised to get her affairs in order. How's that for grim? I mean, when you're barely into your 40s and somebody tells you to get your ducks in a row because you might not be around for too much longer, it would break down the strongest person. Sharon would have to explain to her kids what was going to happen and try to figure out how they'd be taken care of once she was gone. How could she tell her 8-year-old daughter and 10-year-old son that she might not be around to see their next birthday? The dread of that conversation was crippling. She was pondering a life that might only last a matter of months. Yet her son, with total confidence, repeated that Jesus would fix it. Sharon isn't a deeply religious woman, but deep down she desperately hoped that Jesus would indeed save her. Here's where the story would have ended, if not for that brush with death I had in a stinking hot cave in Afghanistan, an event that would literally lead to Sharon's salvation. My memories are as fresh as if it happened last night. I'd been in the country for about 3 months. As the gunny of our Force Recon team, it was my job to train my men as well as lead them on missions. I was also assigned to train and manage a National Guard unit for my home state of Missouri as well. That was how it was then. These Guard units would get called up and the guys would be shipped overseas to fight. They were National Guardsmen, guys who met once a month to do a little training but were mostly average Joes, accountants, truck drivers, engineers, you name it. And a lot of these guys were older too. The average age in the unit under me was 40. These weren't the super fit kick-ass Marines of my Force Recon team. These were often pudgy, out-of-shape middle-aged guys who never expected to have to see any real down and dirty combat in a boiling hot desert country. Yet, I'm sorry to admit, my training program wasn't having much success. My Marines and I were in great shape, and yet no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't seem to whip these Guardsmen into lean, mean fighting machines. They tried and worked hard, but didn't seem to really get anywhere. I tried everything. More water, totally banning carbs, I even confiscated the salt shaker in the mess. Yet it just wasn't working out, and it would soon bite us all in the ass. We got a tip that the man himself, Osama bin Laden, was trying to get out of Afghanistan through the Khyber Pass. He was hiding in a cave, and it was my team's job to go in and get him. This was before the SEALs finally succeeded a little while later, remember? So, my Force Recon unit and a squad of Guardsmen were to act as fire support. We geared up and made our way into the pass on that fateful night. The desert is a strange place, boiling hot in the day, yet it rapidly cools off at night. It's quiet, too. You don't have the sounds of night birds and crickets, just the wind, if any, and the sound of your own footsteps crunching on the dry soil. I had a feeling something was wrong when we got to the location and found only 4 sentries on duty outside the cave. If bin Laden was in there, shouldn't there be a whole garrison? On the other hand, if they wanted to give the appearance that nothing was going on, this would be the way. Command told me to proceed and we moved in. We took the guards out with single shots, sprayed the entrance to the cave with automatic fire, and went in with our night vision goggles on. The cave was small, and aside from a few crates, it was pretty much empty. There was a small opening in the rear, so Private Anders, Sergeant Olson of the National Guard, and I went in to investigate. And that's when Anders spotted the IED they've planted as a booby trap. "Gunny, it's a trap!" I grabbed Anders and flung him toward the entrance. "Run! Olson, get the hell out of here!" Olson turned to follow. Olson was one of the guys that I was trying to train. A big, good-natured guy in his mid-40s. He was strong and gung-ho, but he was also 30 or 40 pounds overweight. One of the worst runners in my entire team, in fact. As I pushed Anders out, I turned back to make sure Olson was ahead of me. He shoved me forward. "I'm right behind you, Gunny. Go!" I didn't like it. I always made sure I was the last out, but there was no time to argue. As we bolted for the cave mouth, the bomb went off in a flash of light and a deafening roar. I felt myself flung into the air, and then the world dissolved into blackness. I came to back at the base. The doc said I was out for almost 6 hours. "How's the team?" I asked. "Everybody else is fine, including Anders," Doc said. But Olson didn't make it. He must have been way back in the cave when the bomb detonated. His body probably protected you from the worst of the blast and the flying shrapnel. He just wasn't fast enough. These words were like a hot, wet knife in my guts. I felt like I'd failed Olson. It was my job to whip him into shape, and nothing I did helped. And he paid the price for his lack of fitness. I'd lost a man because I wasn't able to whip him into shape, and to add insult to injury, I was still responsible for training these guys. But what can I do? What trick could I use to get these men into the kind of shape that would keep them alive? I felt like everything I'd ever learned was completely bull crap, and I didn't know where to turn for answers. Often it's always darkest before the dawn, and out of the blue, something amazing happened. Something I would never have thought of was revealed to me. A young med student from Korea named Sam Pak came to my tent that evening to talk to me. Sam was part of the combined UN forces, and since he hadn't graduated yet, he was a medical corpsman, first class. Sam was in the ward where Anders and I had been treated, so he knew what had happened. He also knew that I was down about the incident and how I could help the men under my command. Sam, who I talked to here and there, stuck his head through my tent flap, showed me a bottle of Jack, and asked if I could use a swig. "Kyle," Sam said as we shared a drink, "you've got a lot of heart and you're working your guys hard, but your approach is all wrong." I looked at him incredulously. He smiled. I know, but hear me out. Your exercise routines are too long. The men need 3 times the amount of carbs you're allowing them, and as for restricting their salt, if you keep that up, their bodies will keep storing fat and they'll never build up enough energy. Like you probably are now, I was confused and very skeptical. Yet Sam started explaining the science behind what he was saying, and slowly I began to realize he was right. Sam explained that the biggest reason men and women in their 30s, 40s, and even 60s don't lose weight and are storing fat is because of metabolic acidosis. I had heard the term, but didn't really know what it meant. He told me that metabolic acidosis occurs when your kidneys can't get rid of food acid properly. This makes your body store fat and throws your fat-burning cycles out of whack. And it doesn't matter how much you work yourself to death in the gym or on the road. It doesn't matter if you put on a wetsuit and sit in a sauna for hours. You can restrict your diet as much as you want and guzzle water until your pee is as clear as a mountain spring. Metabolic acidosis makes absolutely certain you never lose an ounce of fat. This young guy had already received a very prestigious award for a medical breakthrough that reverses obesity in adults and children at any age. But I was still questioning what he was telling me. So Sam showed me a practical example that would turn the tables on everything I'd learned about nutrition in the past decade and more. "Okay, Gunny," Sam said with a grin, "let me ask you this. What happens if you leave an uncovered pot of stew on your stove with the heat off for a few days?" "It starts to break down," I said. "The food rots and it starts to stink." "Exactly," Sam said. "Now what if you left that same nasty pot of stew on the stove for a couple of months?" "Damn," I said with a smile, "you'd probably have to move from the horrific stench, plus the maggots, flies, and roaches that would move in." "Exactly." He explained that something very similar is going on inside most people's systems. Countless independently verified medical studies clearly demonstrate how metabolic acidosis is the primary reason 93.6% of people struggle with weight loss, even after hours in the gym, endless cardio, and restrictive or crazy diets. The rotting gunk inside our bodies is essentially the acids that we are not getting rid of. A body that is overly acidic is retaining fat in order to protect itself against harmful acids that weaken your body's immune system and screw with the important metabolic processes. And ignoring this issue for years only packs on more and more weight until one day you get hit with the intermittent chest pains, and because of that fat buildup around your arteries, your heart starts to beat irregularly. Or what's way worse, your good cells begin to transform into carcinogen cells and lead to major heart problems. And here's what's really messed up. The latest studies state that most people living in large populations, especially in Western cultures, are dangerously stressed in their lives, which produces a destructive acid called cortisol. Cortisol is the fight or flight hormone that your body produces when you're scared, angry, or stressed. You know the kind of stress I mean. Regular anxiety or even anxiety attacks, slogging through a dirty divorce, constantly worrying about money, or surprise, surprise, getting depressed about your weight. And the news only gets worse. The majority of people have little or no energy and feel tired and lethargic all the time, and on top of it all, eat the wrong foods at the wrong hours of the day, which throws natural fat-burning cycles off balance. And then there's the weight loss seesaw. You drop a few pounds and then they come back faster and maybe with some friends. After seeing the pain in my eyes and the looks of despair on the soldiers I was supposed to train, Sam took a deep breath, put his hands on my shoulders, looked me square in the eye and said, "I've got the formula that has the power to solve an obesity pandemic that's killing men, women, and children all over the globe." I still have the folder that Sam gave me with the lists of all the herbs, minerals, and guidelines that will destroy 10% of body fat in any man or woman over the age of 30 in a matter of only 21 days. If that isn't exactly enough, consider that the powerful effects of these herbs and minerals taken in a very specific order not only melt fat, eradicate cancer-causing free radicals, flush out heavy metals and other toxins from the body, they also contain a powerful enzyme that boosts youthful energy, beautify skin cells all over your body, and also remove a huge amount of fat from the major fat-storing areas like your stomach and thighs. I desperately wanted to believe Sam, as you might expect. I've noticed over the decade or so that I've been training men and women that my biggest challenge was working with folks over the age of 30 who suffer from obesity, joint pain, back problems, diabetes, thyroid conditions, and other metabolic diseases. Sam had rocked my world and left me with a lot to think about. I slept on it, and bright and early the next morning, Sam showed up with a manila file folder loaded with over 20 pages of handwritten notes, stickies, and a few printed pages. In this folder, Sam said, is everything you'll ever need to train anybody and to revitalize every cell in their body, kick their fat-burning cycles back into gear, and jolt their metabolism back to where it was in their 20s. Sam made me swear to use it. He called it his Biometric Metabolic Boosting Fitness and Nutrition Protocol. Yeah, not too sexy, right? Honestly, a lot of what he wrote, after I could decipher his handwriting that is, wasn't even that complex. However, I was very new to some of the all-natural minerals, herbs, and weight-decimating formulas included in the folder. Then, as if a light bulb went on, something Sam had mentioned in passing the night before clicked in my head. Sam said that most of these unknown herbs and minerals, at least unknown to me, are consumed daily by some of the oldest and healthiest countries in the world, such as Indonesia, Japan, and Vietnam, not to mention Korea, naturally. But the most amazing thing was this. Both seasoned and brand new studies alike show that for the past 10 years, these countries have some of the lowest obesity, cancer, and heart disease rates in the world. And not only that, they also live the longest and look the youngest. I really felt like I was on the verge of a huge breakthrough that could revolutionize the health industry and could help obese people beat the fat and keep it off. So I bit the bullet and poured over Sam's notes for most of that day. I was excited about sharing what I'd learned with my men. I met with the men from my unit and the National Guardsmen later that day and told them about Sam's information and what I wanted to do. I told them to enjoy the weekend because come Monday, it was on. Holy crap! I was not expecting the level of excitement that greeted me at 0600, that's 6 a.m. to you normal folks, on Monday morning. Every one of those men were talking about just how following the little bit of info I'd given them on Friday had already made a difference. They slept great, they felt great, and they were ready to go. The really cool thing was this. 90% of the soldiers lost an average of 3 pounds over the week with light to mild physical activity without making any changes to their diet whatsoever. Clearly, Sam knew what he was talking about, as I had heard that all my Marines and Guardsmen were sleeping peacefully through the night. Remember, this is Afghanistan we're talking about, and hitting the deck each morning with plenty of energy that remained steady all day long. I noticed that my Marines seemed more focused, and so did the Guardsmen, especially when you consider their age and the fact that many of them were taking meds for high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Now here's the really crazy part. Sam's plan actually increased the number of carbs these guys could eat, which they loved, as well as increasing their sodium intake. Yeah, this flies in the face of common fitness wisdom, yet they continue to lose weight at a faster and faster rate. We're talking about 3 pounds per week on average, and without any noticeable energy drain, as often happens with diets that restrict food intake. Yet that's not the only true amazing thing either. They had 10 times as much energy, they felt stronger, and looked younger than they had in years. And on the weekends, these guys were pigging out on bread, pasta, cakes, and pies sent from home, ice cream, and even beers, doing everything a person losing weight shouldn't be doing, right? When Major Snyder, the base physical training officer, got wind of what I was doing, he was not too happy. He actually ordered me not to go to the PX to get any of the sweet snacks and other tasty things that Sam had on his list for the guys. So I had to order stuff online, ship it to the nearest allied country, and have it smuggled into Afghanistan by various contacts just to get it on base, like a regular smuggling operation. And you won't believe what happened next. In less than a month, Sam's plan was starting to go viral on the base. I was in over my head. I had so many men and women from non-infantry units begging for me to help them. And do you know the interesting thing? Everyone was obligated to take a complete physical. I was totally flabbergasted to see men and women in their 40s with LDL levels at 70, which is almost perfect. One of our doctors, who was a National Guard captain, was so astonished he made a special trip to come and tell me that he didn't understand why nearly every man and woman who'd been working with me had a blood pressure of around 110/80. These numbers are what you'd expect in kids, 20-somethings, and newlyweds. Yet I saw men and women from their 20s all the way into their early 60s with long histories of obesity, heart problems, and metabolic problems sleeping through the night. Things were really getting crazy. When Major Snyder saw the results my men had and some of the other folks were having, he came and he asked me to explain it. The next day, he showed up with General Burkhalter, our base CO, and Hajib Mashadi, the mayor of the town near us. They wanted me to teach them my formula and help them lose weight too. It's funny, after spending so many years missing the key ingredient, I finally had the key to something incredible, and it would lead directly to the miracle Sharon was hoping for. I shared my plan with hundreds of people during my tour, yet I couldn't wait to get back to the States and share it with everyone I knew. I finally found the buried treasure that could completely transform anyone's body and show them undeniable proof that you really can look and feel younger, rejuvenate every cell in your body, lose all the weight you want, and toss many of your prescriptions into the trash so fast it'd make your head spin. Yet I kept dreaming about that night in the cave, about the sound of fright in Private Anders' voice and the crazy thoughts that ran through my head. I wanted to see my 6-year-old son again, teach him to ride a bike, to throw a football with him. I wanted to hold my wife in my arms again, to smell her hair and taste her lips. But if it weren't for the grace of God and the intervention of a man I barely knew, I'd be dead, and I would never have talked with Sam and nor seen my family again. I thanked God that I was alive, and the next morning woke up with a conviction in my heart. I dedicated my life to Sam's research and make a real difference in the world. In less than a month, I was rotated home and couldn't wait to fly back to the States. I had Sam's folder containing 21 pages of notes that would become the basis for my program and miraculously change the lives of over 50,000 men and women who struggled with their weight to transform their bodies and reclaim their health. After being home for a couple of weeks, I began to really think about my promise and how to bring Sam's remarkable weight loss method to the world, all the while having no idea that I'd run straight into Sharon Monroe. One day, I found myself at one of the biggest churches in St. Louis. I'm a guy who certainly has faith. There's an old saying about how there are no atheists in foxholes, but I've never really been a churchgoer. A few times a year, that's about it. I actually had a meeting with the pastor of one of the largest churches in St. Louis. He was a friend of a friend who had heard about my work and wanted to talk about doing something for the members. I was about to meet Sharon, a 43-year-old overweight woman who was at her wit's end and seriously pondering the end of her existence. It was a weekday, and I was a little bit early for my meeting. The church was mostly empty, but I couldn't help but notice this woman sitting in the near front row of the pews. I could see she was overweight and that she was cradling her head in her hands and sobbing. You couldn't hear it, especially from the entrance, but I could see it in her body as her shoulders moved up and down. I just had this urge to go over and sit next to her. I said hello and asked what was wrong. Sharon looked at me blankly for a moment, probably wanting to tell me to get lost, but I think when she saw that I was in uniform, I had attended a debriefing that morning. She only sighed and told me that she had gotten some horrible news from the doctor about her weight and health and a very real prospect of dying. Little did I know, but Sam's innovative system was the miracle that Sharon's son had been so certain of. I wondered if what I'd learned from Sam could help her. It was certainly worth a try. Hell, after hearing Sharon's story, I couldn't in good conscience turn away, could I? Sharon said that she was 40 pounds overweight, that her cholesterol and blood pressure went through the roof, and that her heart was no longer in good shape. She was already seeing the signs of type 2 diabetes too, just to add insult to injury. Sharon was really beating herself up about why she'd waited until it was too late to do something about her health. I put my hand on Sharon's shoulder and said, "I'm Gunnery Sergeant Kyle Cooper. I just got back from Afghanistan, where I've been fighting and training soldiers for 6 months. I met a medical student from Korea who shared something incredible with me. So incredible, I've used it to help hundreds of soldiers totally transform their bodies and recapture their youthful health. If you're willing to try, I'd like to work with you too." She said that honestly, she couldn't see how a folder full of loose notes could do any good. How could some Korean kid know this magic, and yet we've never heard of it here? Yet Sharon was desperate, and she said that she couldn't very well look her husband and kids in the eye tonight if she didn't take a lifeline that was thrown to her. I gave Sharon Sam's program. I had the good sense to write it up on the computer so it was legible, and told her to do exactly what it said for the next 2 months. It was crazy. Sharon called me every night, sometimes laughing and sometimes crying about how she'd lost a pound that day, or 2 pounds, and how after a week she had to tighten her belt up by 2 notches because her fat pants were falling off her. The same doctor that had told Sharon to start making her arrangements was totally flabbergasted at her next visit. She was amazed to see Sharon's face thinner, her belly reduced, and her clothes loosely fitting. "I don't know what you're doing, Miss Monroe," the doc said, "but keep doing it. Your BP is lower, your HDLs are down, and your LDLs are up." Sharon was able to throw away her blood pressure and cholesterol pills too. The big surprise was that on day 21 of Sam's program, Sharon and Tyler were astonished to discover that she had lost a total of 41 pounds. Sharon's friends and family couldn't believe it. They all wanted to know what the big secret was. Was it a diet, a supplement, a workout, some experimental drug? A lot of them had health conditions of their own. Some were even worried about high cholesterol, diabetes, or even life-threatening prostate cancer. A lot of these folks were losing the war against obesity as well. Like many Americans, they had been packing on the pounds for years, resulting in cottage cheese thighs, flabby butts, back fat, double chins, and even man boobs. They were frustrated and even angry about what they saw in the mirror, feeling unattractive and out of shape. As if Sharon's transformation wasn't amazing enough, something really cool happened too. Sharon had told me their son, Aiden, would regularly come home from school crying because the kids teased him about being fat. In fact, the family doctor said that if Aiden didn't lose some weight soon, he could develop full-blown diabetes for life. Yet Aiden did something truly intriguing. Aiden was still at the age where he wanted to do what mom and dad were doing. So he copied everything Sharon did, and after the first week, they were all floored when Aiden had lost an amazing 4 pounds. So they kept him on it, and by the end of Sam's recommended 21 days, Aiden had lost a total of 21 pounds and looked like a brand new kid. "Why did you follow along with me?" Sharon asked Aiden. "Mom," Aiden said in an innocently matter-of-fact way that only a kid can, "if Jesus sent Mr. Cooper to help you lose weight, then I should listen too." This was the kick in the butt I needed. I started the weight loss boot camp. I only had 5 students to start, but when I shared Sam Pack's program and Sharon and Aiden's stories, folks were excited, and man, how the camp grew. By the end of the first 3 weeks, my 5 students had talked so excitedly about the program that my little camp now had over 50 members and continued to grow. They were all dropping pounds, restoring their health, and reclaiming their youth, now as active as they were in their 20s. Like my students, I shared Sam's system with friends and family, and they shared it, and they shared it, and everybody was losing weight and loving life. With the help of social media, people all over the country were getting in on the action. I was getting dozens of messages every day from happy folks sharing their success stories. They all experienced a dramatic reduction in body fat and an incredible boost in energy, with optimal lab results for all their vitals and perfect health. With emotional call after emotional call and thousands of Facebook messages from total strangers and also folks I knew well, thanking me for sharing this plan with them and for changing their lives, it became clear that this was my calling. I was determined to get this health breakthrough into the hands of the masses, even if I risked the anger of top gym chains and health industries who wanted to come after me and take me down. Hey, I'm a Marine. That crap doesn't scare me. Part of my conviction to share Sam's program was that, in honest truth, I probably shouldn't have even been alive. I can never forget that booby trap cave and how Sergeant Olson saved my life and accidentally sacrificed his, simply because he wasn't in good enough shape to move out of the bomb's blast zone. This was definitely a gift from above, and I'd have to be a pretty ignorant asshole, pardon my language, not to take advantage of it, to not pay it forward and share Sam's plan with others to help them beat the odds and recapture their health, vitality, and their youth. I figured, why not go right for the brass ring and spend the next couple of weeks trying to get in touch with some major names in the health business and the communications business too. I sent inquiry letters to Good Housekeeping, Women's Health, and even Dr. Oz. I sent an endless stream of emails to folks who might want to partner with me and got rejections from such renowned names as The Biggest Loser and even Dr. Phil after a few hundred tries. I guess I just wasn't a big enough name to warrant their attention. It doesn't much matter, I guess. If at first you don't succeed, well, they call Marines the devil dogs for a reason. Not to be stymied, I rolled up my sleeves and decided that the only thing to do was take Sam's system directly to the streets, just as it was. I took Sam's folder and copied documents and created a comprehensive and easy-to-follow fat decimating action plan. I listed dozens of the most powerful herbs and minerals you should add to your diet right now to eradicate fat, turn back the clock of age, and dramatically revitalize traumatized cells. But it's not enough to know what to do. You need to know what not to also. So I created a list of the supposed health foods and veggies that actually cause you to harm yourself and retain fat. I also included a list of rare and almost unknown smoothie recipes needed to enhance your youthfulness and rid your body of destructive toxins, heavy metals, and free radicals. Plus, my system, or Sam's in mine, includes an exact step-by-step plan to change your eating cycles and jumpstart your metabolic processes into high gear within the first 3 days. My campaign has certainly pissed off the Weight Watchers and Atkins folks for sure, but to hell with them. What I'm sharing is just too important for you to learn and guarantee you a healthy and energetic body. Aside from listing tasty foods and nutrients that your body needs, I also include what I call the Ultimate Pound Shedding Week that starts today and kicks your fat-burning cycles into high gear. Imagine looking down at your belly after the first week, knowing that you've dropped 5 pounds of pure fat without doing a single second of mind-numbing cardio. I lay out a step-by-step schedule that explains the new herbs and minerals you need to eat first thing in the morning, as well as the exact amounts of each. It works for anyone, even if you're trying to lose 30 pounds or more and want to look younger. To see and feel your smooth face from your forehead to the bottom of your neck. It's all presented in a simple step-by-step action plan. It's easy to understand, and Sam provides you with all of the science behind everything you're doing each day. And another thing, and this is critical, any program requires tracking so you can see your results and know you're getting somewhere, as well as making adjustments along the way to fit your exact needs. Therefore, the system gives you a daily progressive tracking formula to measure your fat percentages versus muscle growth each week. And you don't have to take time from your busy schedule to go to the doctor and shell out your hard-earned money just to get results. Sam's name for it is way too long, so I've created a simple and plain name that really describes our system. It's called the Fat Decimator System. Based on the 53,816 people who've used Fat Decimator, I can tell you that the average weight loss over the 21 days of the program is around 22 pounds, or more than a pound a day. Folks like Samantha in Cincinnati, Ohio, who lost 31 pounds. Steve in Warwick, Rhode Island, who lost 36 pounds and went down 4 pants sizes. And Jennifer Harvey in Louisiana, who lost an incredible 48 pounds and was able to fit into her mother's wedding dress on her big day and amazed everyone, especially her new hubby. I want you to understand that this system isn't just a quick fix. Yeah, you'll lose weight, repair damaged cells, and revitalize your body quickly. Yet the Fat Decimator System is really designed to give you 100% confidence in the idea that you have the power to keep the weight off permanently. That's what's so special about Sam Pak's approach. It's not a one-shot deal. We get that everybody has different needs, so we simply give you the tools and knowledge you need to achieve your optimal level of health. We show you how and why and let you manage your health in a way that works best for you, which is why you get those tracking charts. That way you can monitor your metabolism, internal health, and your diet and make adjustments where needed. The Fat Decimator System, let's call it FDS for short, requires no restrictive dieting, calorie counting, or any other harsh rules that are virtually impossible to follow. You don't have to starve yourself or buy expensive mail-order meals that, sorry to say, are usually loaded with preservatives and other chemicals. Oh, and there's no extreme exercising either. Remember, overdoing it in the gym or with cardio actually deprives your body of what it needs, and it can cause you to gain fat weight. However, if you'd just like to shrink your belly fat and dissolve that annoying muffin top, I'm also including an easy-to-follow 3-minute belly shrinker video series along with a little-known belly detox formula in which all of the ingredients you can find in your kitchen cabinet right now. This formula alone will melt several inches from your waist so you can look good on your next date, wedding, anniversary, or high school reunion. If that piques your interest, then turn to page 33 in the book and find out how to repair your fat-burning cycles in the next 3 days to do just that. Hey, even if you aren't looking to lose any weight, yet want more energy and to feel healthier, go to page 64 and do exactly what it says to destroy free radicals and toxins that are running rampant throughout your body, stealing away your energy, aging you, and even putting you at risk of cancer and heart disease. FDS tells you exactly what to do to make all of that happen and much, much more. When you think about everything we've talked about, it should be abundantly clear that there's nothing else on the planet like the Fat Decimator System. It's a jam-packed system filled with tools you need not only to quickly lose weight and regain your physique, you also get the power to completely turn your entire health around, even if you're seriously sick and depressed like Sharon was. Sure, there are other options out there, yet let's think about them a little. You could continue trying every new fad diet, crazy magnet things that melt fat as you watch TV, or gut-busting workout DVD that hits the market, but the plain truth, the ultimate litmus test, is this. If these things really worked, if their claims were really true, then why does the Center for Disease Control continually report a 35% increase in obesity each year? And why are 3,500 people still dying from heart disease and cancer every day? These are moms and dads, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles. These are our children who just didn't know what you'll know after using Sam's system. You can try workouts like Insanity and P90X and damage your joints or starve yourself eating undersized food portions in those expensive and ridiculous colorful containers like Nutrisystem, or use the out-of-date Weight Watchers point system, which throws your body into survival mode. Once in survival mode, by the way, your body starts hoarding the few bits of nutrients that do enter it and convert them into unsightly fat. I still feel a bit guilty about all these years telling people to drink more water, eat salads, and run 3 miles a day, until Sam Pack showed me that doing this was depriving them of essential nutrients, wrecking their metabolism, and causing them to binge at night and gain more weight at a faster pace. You could shell out $400 each month on a certified trainer and nutritionist who all take silly one-day courses to get certified but actually have no knowledge about how the body actually digests food and are ignorant of the metabolic changes that take place when you're in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. Or you can choose FDS and learn the personal detox secrets celebrity trainers like Bill Phillips, Jillian Michaels, Mary Helen Bowers, and Danny Musico will never tell you about. But thanks to the Fat Decimator System, you'll get these incredibly powerful secrets to use for yourself. How about those damaging weight loss pills that don't make you lose weight? What they really do is send debilitating toxic chemicals straight to your brain that tricks your body into thinking it isn't hungry. Have you ever checked out the side effects of those damn things? Or been taken in by the weight loss commercials who show you how great life is once you gobble up their expensive pills? Yeah, well, here's what they don't tell you. They certainly don't try to sell you on the proven risk from the harmful side effects of these pills like seizures, migraines, depression, nervousness, constipation, dizziness, upset stomach, fatigue, increased blood pressure, insomnia, blurred vision, and diarrhea, just to name a few. You probably already know that though. Imagine going to the doctor after taking your magic weight loss pills, expecting to rub his nose in it, but instead he tells you that your BMI has ballooned to 32 and your blood pressure and cholesterol levels are high enough to kill a rhino. Or there's the FDS option. You're not hampered by any strict rules. You don't starve yourself. You don't swallow expensive pills or medications. And you don't work yourself to death in a gym while you hate every second. You just follow the simple biological nutritional-based formula inside and put more of the foods you like back into your diet. Each day you get closer to the thrilling results of optimum health for decades to come. Consider mine and Sam's system has already been validated by the scientific community, top doctors around the world, and by more than 53,800 others just like you. It shouldn't be a surprise why when we first brought it to the market, we thought of charging $349. That's considerably less than what you spend for a year's worth of doctor's visits, prescription meds, health insurance premiums, or even a month with a trainer. Yet once you get your hands on the easy-to-follow system, the little-known herbs and nutrients, powerful body detox and anti-aging smoothie formulas, the healthy foods you should avoid at all costs, the wellness tracking charts, all of which are completely adjustable to your specific needs, and don't forget the 3-minute belly shrinker video series to slim and trim your belly fat. You'll revel in the long-lasting health. You'll lose as much fat as you want. You'll see and feel the visible signs of youthful skin on your face. I'm not even mentioning those things on which you can't put a price, such as the security and comfort of knowing that you'll be there to see your children and grandchildren's adorable faces for decades to come. Imagine your golden years as they should be, as you've earned them, taking awesome vacations, enjoying the outdoors, pursuing all of your hobbies, and while you're doing all of that and so much more, you'll look and feel younger than you ever thought possible. As a matter of fact, people won't believe you when you reveal your age to them. All because, like me, you learned the truth. So will the ones you care about most. Friends, parents, kids, and your significant other. All things considered, $349 seems like a very fair price. You wouldn't believe the number of people who have suggested I charge more, but that's not why I'm doing this. This is my mission in life. It's not just about grabbing a buck. The information Sam gave me that became the Fat Decimator System turned a lot of soldiers around, gave me a clear purpose, and literally saved Sharon Monroe's life. I can't help but feel that if not for the divine intervention, I wouldn't be here to share FDS with you. And I'm not sure where, but I do believe there's a verse that says something like, "To whom much is given, much is required." I don't think I could look at myself in the mirror every day if I just tried to use Sam's gift as a way to pry money out of people's hands. That's not why I was spared in that cave, I'm sure. That's why you're not going to be asked to pay anywhere close to $349 to get the Fat Decimator System today. Actually, you won't even pay $199 or even as little as $99, which is less than the cost of 2 personal training sessions, P90X, or a Beachbody bundle. Nope. When you say yes to FDS today, you're making a commitment to save your own life while regaining the physique and vitality you may not have had in 10, 20, 30, or even 40 years. All I really ask is for a small bit to help cover my website maintenance and distribution costs, to invest a tiny $57 and get a gigantic return on your long-range health and wellness. I'm sure you're in agreement that this is an awesome offer, an incredible deal, and you want to get started immediately. I'd like to add a little more to sweeten the pot though, if you'll let me. As a special thanks for watching this video presentation, if you act now, I'll let you have the entire Fat Decimator system for only $37. I strongly encourage you to make this critical decision today and to empower yourself with a simple, easy-to-follow, physician-trusted, and absolutely proven way to rapidly lose weight. So click the Add to the Cart button below, and you'll be taken to our secure checkout page that looks like this. As soon as you've entered your information, you'll get instant access to the entire Fat Decimator system. Plus, you get to view all the detox and age-defying smoothie recipes, the little-known herbs and minerals, the easy-to-follow delicious meal plan, the fruits and veggies you should avoid if you have thyroid condition, the fat-burning metabolism reset section that skyrockets your metabolic processes over the next 3 days, plus a list of sweet desserts and tasty snacks that most diets label as evil, but that you can add back into your diet. As an additional special little treat, a treat that I know has saved many marriages and relationships, I'm also throwing in the exclusive list of sex-driving enhancing foods, so potent nuns and priests are forbidden to eat them. They ramp up your sex drive, man or woman, starting tonight, and give you that special intimate vitality to make you feel like you're a college kid again. You get it all, and you can get it all right now. Right now from your computer, tablet, or smartphone without waiting weeks for things to show up by snail mail. You can download all the materials or even print out as many copies as you would like and begin the program 2 minutes from right now. The total and permanent solution to your health and well-being is only 20 seconds away, and all it takes is a click of a button. So don't wait. Take advantage of this awesome plan at the awesome price of only $37 and change your life right now. Still a little hesitant? Not sure if the Fat Decimator system is right for you? Then let me put your mind at ease. I'm so confident in Sam's research and its proven results that I'm going to back up your small $37 investment today with a 100% total satisfaction, no questions asked, 60-day money-back guarantee. I know telling you to eat more foods that you love, enjoy more carbs, add more seasoning to your foods, and to cut back on your workouts probably sounds pretty damn crazy. And even though I have thousands of stories from people who struggled with blood sugar and high cholesterol levels who got indisputable proof from the lab that these levels had dropped back to normal, you may still need a little push in the right direction. This may be the most important decision of your life, and I believe so strongly that FDS is going to help you that I wouldn't be doing my part if I didn't make getting it into your hands as easy as I could today. So all I'm really asking is that you say maybe to the Fat Decimator system right now. Get your instant access to the guide, the rejuvenating life-changing smoothie recipes, the fastest weight loss week action plan, the fat-burning metabolism cycle reset tools, the list of dozens of minerals and herbs to reverse the acidification in your body, the 3-minute belly shrinker video series, what veggies and fruits you should stay away from, and discover the ones you should add to remove the fat for good. Find out when and what you should be eating to get you to the transformation you desire even faster. And discover what special foods you can eat to dramatically enhance your romantic life as soon as this evening. Take a full 2 months to try this out for yourself, and if, for any reason, you are not completely satisfied or you see the numbers on the scale going in the wrong direction and your health has not dramatically restored, just send an email to the address we'll give you on the number page stating that you want a refund, and I'll immediately send back what you've paid today with no questions asked. Yes, you've heard me right. I'll send your money back right away simply because you asked, and I won't bug you with any questions. That's how sure I am in the power of the Fat Decimator System. All I ask is that you actually follow the system and give it an honest try for 60 days. Think about it. I'm taking all the risk and you're getting all the benefits. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. FDS is about giving you the power to totally reclaim your health and your life. And if you're not thrilled, then I don't want to take a single penny from you. This really should be the easiest choice you've ever had to make. A choice that gives you the little-known herbs and nutrients that will make you look and feel younger, smoothie recipes that will boost your vitality and double your quality of life, and don't forget the 3-minute belly shrinker videos packed full of simple 6-pack tweaks you can do before bed, and so very much more. Get started now by clicking the Add to Cart button below. You wouldn't believe the pressure I get from competitors and even friends every single day who say I should charge huge sums of money for the Fat Decimator System and get fabulously wealthy. Just imagine if my site was taken down tomorrow and I couldn't share all the powerful herbs, fat-melting minerals, and nutrients you've been desperately searching for, which means if you are ready to stop dieting, stop starving yourself, stop wasting your life at the gym, stop being a slave to your medication, then you must act now by clicking the Add to Cart button you see below this video screen. This video is about to end. There are only a few seconds left to make this 100% risk-free decision. At the end of the day, I can't decide for you. Whether you desire to reclaim decades of perfect health or not is a choice only you can make. You could just let the video end and decide not to check out the Fat Decimator System and see for yourself. That's certainly your prerogative, but if you make that decision, what's really going to change? Are you going to try another expensive and grueling gut-busting workout program or another useless crash diet that at best doesn't work and at worst damages your body? Are you going to keep burning yourself out, wasting money at the gym without the results you want, waking up feeling sluggish, dragging your butt every morning with aches and pains, and dealing with that pounding migraine you can't get rid of? How do you lose the weight you need to? How do you rejuvenate the damaged cells all over your body? How do you protect yourself from metabolic and other life-ending diseases? You can choose to do nothing and wait for the ticking health bomb to go off, just like the one that almost killed me in Afghanistan. Just like the one that Sharon Monroe ignored that nearly left her husband Tyler a widower and her kids motherless. Just like the one that was slowly killing Sharon's 10-year-old son and that nobody even knew about. These aren't really options at all, and you know it, which is why you need to click the Add to Cart button below and try FDS for yourself right now, 100% risk-free. Get the step-by-step guides, the food list, the smoothies, the herbs and minerals, the 3-minute belly shrinker series, everything. And see how fast and easy it is to melt away the disgusting fat that's been clinging to your body for years, to jumpstart your metabolism into a 24-hour fat-burning juggernaut, to maintain healthy cellular levels that can fight disease, eradicate toxins that are sticking to your arteries so you can look and feel decades younger. The choice is yours. Here's to a long, healthy, and happy life. I'm Kyle Cooper. Still here? That's okay. I know we've covered a lot of stuff in this presentation, and you still may have some questions about what you just saw. To help you out a bit, I'll go ahead and answer some of the most common questions people ask me about the Fat Decimator System. Question: why do I keep going back to my old out-of-shape self? Well, the answer: you work out for a few months and get in shape and fall back to the old habits because you weren't conditioned mentally, only physically, and maybe not even that. Physical fitness is only half the battle. All fitness is 80% mental. Gyms and personal trainers give folks a temporary Band-Aid, but never address the actual issue. The Fat Decimator System includes proven strategies for getting your mind in the right state to make your journey so much easier. Question: what results can I expect in the first week? Answer: Every day, you will notice how simple my methods are and how the secret fat-burning super minerals and nutrients speed up the fat-burning process even while you rest at night. Everyone isn't the same, yet after the first week with FDS, most people experience one or more of the following: more energy, 5 pounds lighter, joint relief, self-motivation, happiness, and a positive change in their physiological states. Question: how can simple minerals, nutrient smoothies, and eating more carbs benefit me? Answer: well, like I mentioned during the presentation you just saw, a lot of foods most people believe are healthy can slow down your metabolism because they lack the nutrients and enzymes to destroy fat and toxins. Also, there are certain things we should eat but many of us don't, and our bodies are suffering from a lack of important minerals and nutrients to aid in burning fat and improving overall health. Question: what happens after I click Add to Cart? Answer: once you have clicked the Add to Cart button that is right below this video, you're taken to the secure checkout page. Just enter your information, and then you're given instant access to the entire Fat Decimator system. You can view all the materials, the list, and the guides right on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. You can also download everything and print out as many copies as you would like. Question: how does the guarantee work again? Answer: no sweat, literally. Because this program saved Sharon Monroe's life, and I truly believe it can give you back decades of healthy living as well, I want there to be no barriers to entry, as they say. That means removing all risk, so it's a no-brainer for you. Once you have clicked that Add to Cart button below, you get a full 60 days to try the program out for yourself, and if you are not satisfied for any reason whatsoever, you simply send me an email and I refund your investment today with no questions asked. Question: how long will this program be available? Answer: I wish I had a solid answer to that one. Obviously, Sam Pack and I want to keep this presentation online as long as possible, and we want to help as many people as we can. In other words, if you are ready to change your life, you have to act right now. Question: okay, I'm ready to change my life for the better. What is the next step? Answer: simply click the Add to Cart button below. Get the entire program and be protected by a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Click the button below right now.